How to Stay in Love Forever by Earl Nightingale. Lesson 1. The Decision to Love. I'm pleased to have this opportunity to share with you one of life's most profound truths. Love, in its most enduring form, is not merely a feeling that washes over us like the tide. No, it is much more powerful than that. Love is a decision we make each morning when our feet touch the floor. Consider for a moment how differently we approach our marriages when we understand this simple idea. The couples who stay in love for decades aren't just lucky people who found the perfect match. They're decision-makers who chose love again and again, especially on days when feelings alone wouldn't have been enough. You see, when we first fall in love, we experience what scientists call infatuation. Our brains swim in wonderful chemicals that make us feel euphoric. We can't eat, can't sleep, and think our beloved is absolutely perfect. This stage is beautiful, but it was never meant to last forever. It's like the exciting launch of a rocket ship, providing the initial thrust to get us into orbit. But once there, different systems must take over for the journey to continue. This is where many marriages hit their first challenge. When that initial rush fades, as it naturally will, we have a choice. We can either believe something is wrong, or we can understand that we're transitioning to a deeper, more sustainable kind of love, one based on choice rather than chemistry alone. The most remarkable power we possess as humans is our ability to choose our thoughts. When we look at our partner, what do we focus on? Their irritating habits or their faithful presence? The way they forgot to take out the trash or the way they remembered your favorite ice cream flavor? What we think about grows. It's as simple and as profound as that. I knew a gentleman named Robert who had been married for 62 years when I asked him his secret. He smiled and said, "Every morning I wake up and tell myself at least 10 reasons I'm the luckiest man alive to be married to Eleanor, to be married to Eleanor." Even when Eleanor was difficult, even when life was challenging, Robert made the decision to love her through his thoughts first, and his feelings followed. This isn't wishful thinking. It's practical psychology. Our brains are designed to find what we tell them to look for. Direct your mind to search for the good in your partner, and I promise you will find treasure chests where you once saw only empty rooms. Starting today, I encourage you to try something simple but powerful. Keep a daily appreciation journal. Each evening before bed, write down 3 specific things you appreciate about your partner from that day. Not general qualities, but specific actions or moments. I appreciated the way he listened when I talked about my difficult day, or I loved how she laughed at the dinner table tonight. After just 1 week of this practice, notice how your mind begins to shift. You'll start looking for things to appreciate throughout your day. And what we look for, we find. What we find, we feel. And what we feel shapes the reality of our marriage. Remember, love is a decision you make fresh each morning. Choose wisely, choose consciously, and you may just find yourself falling in love with the same person over and over again for a lifetime. Lesson 2. The Garden of Marriage. Just as a beautiful garden doesn't happen by accident, neither does a beautiful marriage. The successful gardener knows that a garden requires constant attention. So too does the successful marriage partner understand that love must be nurtured daily. Think of your marriage as a special plot of earth that you and your partner have been given to tend together. The early days of marriage are like springtime, full of excitement and new growth. Seeds are planted with promises and dreams spoken to one another. There's an abundance of sunlight and rain, and everything seems to grow effortlessly. But any gardener will tell you that the real work begins after planting. Without regular tending, even the most promising garden will soon be overtaken by weeds. In your marriage garden, these weeds appear as small resentments, unspoken hurts, and moments of neglect. Left unattended, they grow stronger, choking out the beautiful blooms of connection you once enjoyed. The gardener who succeeds doesn't wait until weeds have taken over. They make daily rounds, removing small problems before they become big ones. In your marriage, this means addressing small issues promptly with kindness and understanding. It means pulling out the weeds of criticism before they can take root and spread. Every garden experiences seasons of change. Sometimes your marriage will enjoy the warmth and growth of summer with happiness blooming in abundance. Other times you'll face the autumn of change or the winter of hardship. The wise couple knows that seasons always change, and they prepare accordingly, strengthening their relationship's root system during good times to withstand the inevitable challenges. Water is essential to any garden survival. In marriage, that water is attention, the focused care you give to your partner's needs, dreams, and feelings. Without it, even the strongest relationship will wither. A garden requires different amounts of water, depending on the season. Similarly, your partner may need different kinds of attention during various life seasons. The most beautiful gardens have diversity. Different plants that complement each other, creating a harmonious whole. Your differences in marriage aren't problems to solve, but strengths to celebrate. Like different flowers in a garden, you each bring unique colors and qualities that, when properly arranged, create something more beautiful than either could alone. Remember, too, that patience is the gardener's virtue. You cannot rush a seed to sprout before its time. Some aspects of your relationship will develop slowly, revealing their beauty only after seasons of faithful tending. The couple who understands this will not give up when growth seems slow. Today, I invite you and your spouse to become intentional gardeners of your love. Start by examining what's growing in your relationship garden. Are there weeds that need removing? Areas that need more attention? New seeds of connection you'd like to plant? By working together daily in this precious garden of your marriage, you can create a relationship that not only survives, but thrives through every season of life. Lesson 3. Speaking your partner's language. Have you ever wondered why some of your loving gestures seem to miss the mark with your spouse? You bring flowers, but they seem underwhelmed. You offer words of praise, but they appear to be waiting for something else. This, S, is the mystery of love languages, and understanding it can transform your marriage forever. Love, you see, is like a conversation. And just as people around the world speak different languages, we each have different ways of expressing and receiving love. Some of us feel most loved when our partner says kind words. Some of us feel most loved when our partner says kind words. Others need physical touch to feel connected. Still others require quality time, helpful acts, or thoughtful gifts to feel truly appreciated. The trouble begins when you're speaking German and your spouse is listening in French. No matter how eloquently you express your love, something gets lost in translation. You may both be trying your hardest, yet somehow missing each other completely. Consider Jane and Robert. For 15 years, Jane showed her love by keeping an immaculate home and preparing Robert's favorite meals. Meanwhile, Robert worked overtime to provide financial security. Both were expressing love in meaningful ways, through acts of service and gifts, yet both felt unappreciated. Why? Because Jane's love language was quality time, while Robert desperately needed words of affirmation. The solution is beautifully simple. Learn to speak your partner's language. Start by observing what your partner complains about most. Do they say, "You never tell me you love me," or "We never spend time together," or "You never help around the house"? These complaints are actually valuable clues about what makes them feel loved. Next, notice what they do for you. Often people give the kind of love they wish to receive. Does your spouse frequently compliment you? Do they often buy you little presents? Their behavior reveals their own love language. Then, experiment. For 1 week, focus entirely on one type of loving expression. The next week, try another. Watch closely for which creates the brightest spark in your partner's eyes. When you find it, that's their primary language. Remember, speaking your partner's language doesn't come naturally. It requires thoughtful effort, especially when their language differs from yours. But the rewards are immeasurable. When you consistently express love in the way your partner can best receive it, you create a powerful connection that withstands life's challenges. Think of it as making a deposit in your marriage bank account. Each time you speak your partner's language, you add to your emotional savings. These reserves become crucial when difficulties arise, and they will arise in every marriage. The most beautiful marriages are those where both partners become bilingual in love. They learn each other's primary language while still appreciating the value of all five. They make the daily choice to communicate love in ways that truly reach their partner's heart. Starting today, become a student of your spouse. Watch, listen, and learn how they best receive love. Then speak to them in that language. Fluently, frequently, and with your whole heart. This simple shift will revitalize your connection and help you stay in love for a lifetime. Lesson 4. The Power of Small Moments. Hello, this is Earl Nightingale, and today we're going to discover one of the most profound secrets of lasting love. The real strength of a marriage doesn't lie in grand gestures or expensive gifts. No, it lives in the small moments that happen every single day. Think about it. When you look back on your happiest memories with your partner, what comes to mind? For most people, it's not the expensive vacation or the big anniversary party. It's that morning they brought you coffee in bed for no reason. It's the way they squeezed your hand during a difficult moment. It's the little note they left in your lunchbox. These tiny actions build trust over time. Each small kindness is like putting a penny in a savings account. One penny doesn't amount to much, but when you add a penny every day for years and years, that's when you build real wealth. Marriage works the same way. Each small moment of attention, each tiny kindness adds up to a fortune of love. This is what I call the compound effect of consistent caring. Just as money grows through compound interest, love grows through compound kindness. Every smile, every thoughtful question, every moment of putting down your phone to really listen, these small investments grow into something magnificent over time. Why does this work? Because paying attention is actually the greatest gift we can give another person. In our busy world where everyone is distracted, giving someone your full attention tells them, "You matter to me. You are important." When you remember how they like their coffee or notice when they've had a hard day, you're saying, "I see you." I once knew a couple married for over 60 years. When asked their secret, the husband simply said, "I notice things. That's it." He noticed when she was tired. He noticed when she was tired. He noticed what made her laugh. He noticed what worried her, and because he noticed, he could respond with the right word or gesture at the right time. The beautiful truth is that anyone can do this. You don't need special talents or lots of money. You just need to pay attention and act on what you see. This is how love stays fresh through the years. Try this. Make a habit of 6 second hugs and kisses. Research shows that embracing for at least 6 seconds releases bonding hormones that strengthen your connection. It's such a small thing, but it changes your brain chemistry and deepens your bond. Another powerful small moment is the way you greet each other after being apart. Make those first few minutes count. Stop what you're doing, look at your partner, and really welcome them back into your presence. Remember, friends, marriages don't usually fall apart because of big problems. They slowly drift apart through neglect, through forgetting the power of small moments. The good news is that they can be rebuilt the same way. One small kindness at a time, one moment of attention after another. Your marriage is made of moments. Choose to make them count. Lesson 5. Fighting fair. The most successful marriages aren't those without conflict. They're those where partners have learned to disagree with dignity and respect. Think about this remarkable truth. Every single couple on earth faces disagreements. The difference lies not in whether they fight, but in how they fight. That's what separates marriages that thrive from those that merely survive. When two unique people join their lives together, bringing different backgrounds, expectations, and habits, conflict is as natural as the changing of seasons. What matters is how we navigate these storms. The quality of your arguments determines the quality of your relationship. Have you ever noticed how easily we slip into combat mode when feeling threatened? Our ancient brain takes over, preparing us to attack or withdraw, but we aren't cave dwellers anymore. We have the magnificent power to pause between stimulus and response. The first secret to fighting fair is learning to listen completely before speaking. Most of us don't truly listen. We simply wait for our turn to talk, mentally rehearsing our rebuttal while our partner is still speaking. True listening means temporarily setting aside your perspective to genuinely understand theirs. This doesn't mean you must agree, only that you seek to understand before being understood. Words matter tremendously in marriage. Once spoken, they can never be truly taken back. They hang in the air between you, either building bridges or walls. You always and you never are phrase. We always and you never are phrase. Weapons that rarely reflect reality and immediately put your partner on the defensive. Replace them with I feel statements that express your experience without attacking character. Another vital truth is that timing matters. Trying to resolve significant issues when you're exhausted, hungry, or stressed rarely leads to connection. Choose your battleground wisely by agreeing to postpone important discussions until both of you are in a receptive state. Perhaps most important is the art of repair. Every couple makes mistakes in how they handle conflict. The strongest marriages aren't perfect. They're simply skilled at repairing damage quickly. A sincere apology isn't a sign of weakness, but a demonstration of tremendous strength and commitment to the relationship above your need to be right. Remember, too, that most recurring arguments aren't actually about the surface issue, but about deeper needs for respect, security, understanding, or appreciation. Look beneath the presenting problem to address what's really at stake. When tensions rise, practice the pause. Take 20 minutes apart to cool down and clarify your thoughts. During this time, write down what you truly want to express, focusing on your feelings rather than accusations. This simple practice can transform a potential shouting match into a productive conversation. Fighting fair doesn't mean avoiding all conflict. It means approaching disagreements with the same love and respect you show during your happiest moments together. The way you handle your differences today will shape the relationship you have tomorrow. With practice and patience, conflict can actually strengthen your marriage rather than weaken it. Lesson 6. Growing together, not apart. Picture two young trees planted side by side. If properly tended and given room to grow, they'll develop together, their root systems intertwining beneath the soil while their branches reach toward the sky. But if neglected or improperly positioned, one might overshadow the other, or they might grow in opposing directions, straining away from each other with each passing season. This, S, is the perfect metaphor for marriage. The truth is simple yet profound. Couples either grow together or grow apart. There is no standing still in a relationship. Like all living things, it's either developing or declining. When you said I do, you didn't just commit to loving the person your spouse was that day. You committed to loving the person they would become, and they made the same commitment to you. We are all works in progress, constantly evolving, learning, and changing. The beauty of marriage lies in experiencing this evolution together. Supporting each other's personal growth is essential. This means becoming your partner's biggest cheerleader, not their competitor or critic. When they discover a new interest or talent, celebrate it. When they struggle to learn something new, encourage them. Your genuine support creates an atmosphere where both of you feel safe to explore your potential. Yet balance is key. A healthy marriage requires both togetherness and individuality. Think of it as a dance. Sometimes you move in perfect unison, while other times you step apart to perform your solo, always returning to each other. Having separate interests and friends keeps you fascinating to one another. When you spend time apart pursuing your individual passions, you bring fresh energy and stories back to your relationship. At the same time, shared goals create a powerful bond. These common objectives, whether raising children, building a home, serving your community, or planning adventures, give your marriage direction and purpose. They become the shared chapters of your story, creating memories that belong uniquely to you as a couple. The challenge comes when one partner evolves in a direction the other doesn't understand or appreciate. This is where communication becomes vital. Talk openly about your dreams. Listen attentively to your partner's ambitions. Find ways to support each other even when your paths seem different. Growing together doesn't mean growing identically. Like those two trees, you can reach toward different patches of sky while remaining deeply connected at the roots. The strongest marriages aren't those where partners become carbon copies of each other, but where they complement each other's strengths and weaknesses while maintaining their unique identities. So tonight, sit down with your spouse and share something you'd like to learn or accomplish this year. Ask about their dreams. Then find ways to support each other's growth while identifying at least one meaningful goal you can pursue together. Your willingness to grow, both individually and as a couple, may be the most important factor in whether your love lasts forever. Lesson 7. The money conversation. Money is the silent partner in every marriage, sitting at the dinner table even when not directly addressed. I've observed through decades of studying success that how couples handle their finances often determines the temperature of their relationship. But here's the remarkable truth. Financial harmony isn't about having identical views on spending or saving. It's about something far more fundamental: open and honest communication. Consider this. When couples argue about money, they're rarely arguing about dollars and cents. They're arguing about what money represents to each of them: security, freedom, status, or perhaps the validation of their contribution to the household. Money arguments are almost always about deeper values, fears, and expectations. The couple who creates financial transparency builds a foundation of trust that extends far beyond their bank account. When partners hide purchases or keep separate secret accounts, they're constructing walls rather than bridges. True financial partnership begins with the courage to be completely honest about what you have, what you owe, and what you desire. We all develop our relationship with money long before we meet our spouse. Your attitude towards saving, spending, and investing was likely formed in your childhood home, watching how your parents handled their finances. Understanding that your partner brings their own money story to the marriage helps develop compassion when views differ. The successful couple doesn't force each other to adopt identical financial viewpoints. Instead, they work to build shared money values while respecting their differences. Perhaps one of you is a natural saver while the other enjoys spontaneous purchases. Neither approach is inherently wrong. They simply reflect different priorities that require gentle negotiation. Think about establishing a household budget, not as a restrictive diet, but as a roadmap to your shared dreams. When you plan together how your resources will support what matters most to both of you, money becomes a tool for creating the life you want, rather than a source of tension. Many couples make the mistake of addressing money only when problems arise. This creates an atmosphere of stress around financial discussions. Instead, consider establishing a regular money date, a time set aside specifically to review your finances in a relaxed setting. Begin by discussing your hopes and goals before examining the numbers. This practice transforms money, talks from potential battlegrounds to opportunities for deeper connection. Financial circumstances change throughout a marriage. Job losses, promotions, children's needs, and retirement planning all reshape your financial landscape. The couple who maintains open communication about money weathers these changes as a team, rather than as adversaries. Your financial relationship, like your marriage itself, thrives on mutual respect, honest communication, and shared purpose. When you approach money matters with these principles, dollars and cents become another way of expressing your commitment to building a life together, one where both partners feel secure, respected, and understood. Lesson 8. Keeping romance alive. The flame of romance, like any fire, requires tending. In my years of observing successful marriages, I've found one truth to be universal. Intimacy flourishes not by accident, but by deliberate design. The couples who remain in love for decades understand that passion isn't something that simply happens to them. It's something they create together, day after day, day after day. Think about this. When you first fell in love, you invested tremendous energy into the relationship. You dressed your best, planned special moments, and focused intently on your beloved. Many couples make the mistake of believing that once the wedding day passes, this effort becomes unnecessary. Nothing could be further from the truth. What we focus on expands. When we direct our attention toward romance, it naturally grows stronger. When we neglect it, assuming it will maintain itself, it inevitably fades. This is simply the law of cultivation at work in your marriage. The mind plays a crucial role here. How you think about your spouse directly affects how you feel about them. Do you still see them with the admiring eyes of a lover, or have you fallen into the habit of seeing only their flaws? The couples who maintain passion deliberately choose to see the best in each other, just as they did during courtship. Physical connection requires particular attention. In the rush of daily responsibilities, touch often becomes utilitarian rather than intimate. Yet research shows that physical affection, holding hands, embracing, kissing, releases powerful bonding hormones that strengthen your connection. Make these moments a priority, not an afterthought. Surprise is another essential element of lasting romance. The human brain is wired to notice novelty. When we experience something unexpected and pleasant, our emotional response is magnified. This doesn't require grand gestures. Something as simple as a handwritten note, a special meal, or taking over a chore your spouse dislikes can reignite feelings of appreciation and desire. Communication about intimacy matters tremendously. Many couples find physical connection diminishing simply because they never discuss their needs and desires openly. Remember this: your spouse cannot read your mind. Creating a comfortable space to express your feelings about intimacy builds both emotional and physical closeness. Time away together deserves special mention. Even a single night away from household responsibilities can refresh your perspective and allow you to see each other as lovers, rather than co-managers of a household. If overnight trips aren't possible, even a few hours set aside as couple time works wonders. The most romantic couples understand that intimacy isn't compartmentalized. It flows from the overall health of the relationship. When you treat each other with kindness throughout the day, romance naturally flourishes at night. This connection between daily interactions and intimate moments cannot be overstated. Remember, what makes romance last isn't youth or circumstances, it's intention. The couples who remain passionately in love after decades together are those who decided that romance matters enough to nurture it consistently. You have that same power of choice in your hands today. Your romance can grow stronger with each passing year if you simply decide to make it so. Lesson 9. The power of forgiveness. Forgiveness may be the single most important skill you'll ever develop in your marriage. Just as surely as the sun rises each morning, two people living life together will hurt each other's feelings. It's not a question of if, but when. The successful marriage isn't one where hurts never occur. It's one where forgiveness flows freely. Think about that for a moment. In your garden of marriage, unforgiveness is like pouring weed killer on your most precious plants. It doesn't hurt the weeds. It hurts what you care about most. I've observed that carrying a grudge is like walking around with your arms full of heavy rocks. You can't embrace life fully when your arms are occupied with yesterday's hurts. Each slight you hold on to becomes another rock added to your burden. Before long, you're bent over from the weight, unable to look forward, unable to reach out to your spouse. What a tragedy to spend years with the person you've chosen to love while keeping a careful inventory of their failures. This is not the path to staying in love forever. The most loving couples I've studied practice what I call short accounts. They don't let the sun go down on their anger. They settle matters quickly. They understand that time doesn't heal all wounds. Forgiveness does. But true forgiveness isn't a feeling. It's a decision. When you truly forgive, you're making a choice to release your spouse from the debt of their mistake. You're saying, I will no longer hold this against you. I remember visiting with John and Mary, married 52 years. I asked them their secret. Mary smiled and said, we decided early on to have a terrible memory. John nodded and added, and a great capacity for starting fresh each day. What wisdom! They understood that selective forgetting is sometimes as important as remembering. Now, forgiveness doesn't mean allowing harmful behavior to continue. Boundaries still matter. Trust must be rebuilt after significant breaches. But forgiveness opens the door to that rebuilding process. The wonderful truth is that forgiveness benefits the forgiver as much as the forgiven. When you release someone else, you release yourself from the prison of bitterness. Your blood pressure lowers. Your stress decreases. You sleep better at night. Try this simple exercise. Think of something your spouse did that still bothers you. Now imagine placing that hurt in a box. See yourself wrapping that box. See yourself wrapping that box and setting it on a river. Watch as the current carries it away. Feel the lightness that comes as it disappears from view. The marriage that lasts forever is built on thousands of small forgivenesses. It's maintained by two people who understand that love keeps no record of wrongs. They've learned the freedom that comes from letting go. Remember, forgiveness isn't something you do once. It's something you practice daily. And with each act of forgiveness, you water the roots of your love, ensuring it continues to grow stronger through all the seasons of your life together. Lesson 10. The Sacred Gift of Marriage. In the quiet moments before dawn, when the world still slumbers and time seems to stand still, I often reflect on what makes marriage such a powerful force in our lives. Today, I'd like to share with you some thoughts on what I consider to be one of life's most precious opportunities, the sacred gift of marriage. Marriage isn't merely a social contract or a convenient arrangement. It's much deeper than that. It's a sacred covenant between two souls who have chosen to journey through life together, hand in hand, heart to heart. When we truly understand this gift, we approach our relationship with reverence and wonder. Think about it. In all the vast universe, with its billions of people across countless generations, somehow you found each other. The mathematical probability against your meeting, falling in love, and choosing to build a life together is staggering. Yet here you are. If that isn't sacred, I don't know what is. This sacredness isn't about religion, though many find their spiritual beliefs enhance their appreciation for marriage. Rather, it's about recognizing that something profound happens when two people commit their lives to one another. There's a mystery at work that transforms both people into something greater than the sum of their parts. The sacred nature of marriage reveals itself in ordinary moments. It's present when you care for each other during illness, when you celebrate life's victories together, when you witness each other's growth over decades. These everyday acts of love accumulate into something extraordinary over time. Many couples find that treating their relationship as sacred changes how they behave within it. When something is sacred, we handle it with care. We don't take it for granted. We don't take it for granted. We don't carelessly damage it. We protect it, nurture it, and treat it with the respect it deserves. This perspective transforms how we handle disagreements, too. Arguments become opportunities for understanding rather than winning. Differences become interesting rather than threatening. The sacred bond between you becomes more important than being right or having your way. Consider creating small rituals that honor this sacredness. Perhaps it's a special way of saying goodbye each morning, a weekly walk where you share your thoughts without distraction, or an anniversary tradition that celebrates your unique journey together. These rituals become touchstones that remind you of what matters most. The sacred gift of marriage also extends beyond the two of you. Your relationship becomes a sanctuary not just for each other, but for children, friends, and family who witness your love. The strength of your bond creates ripples of positive influence that touch countless lives. Recognizing marriage as sacred doesn't mean it will be perfect. Sacred things often require sacrifice, patience, and forgiveness. There will be difficult seasons and challenging moments. But viewing your relationship through this lens gives you the perspective to weather these storms with grace and determination. Today, I encourage you to pause and reflect on the miracle of your marriage. See it with fresh eyes. Hold it in your heart as the precious gift it truly is. For when we recognize the sacredness of what we have, staying in love forever becomes not just possible, but natural. Lesson 11. Accepting life seasons together. The changing seasons of nature might be one of the greatest teachers in understanding the enduring nature of marriage. Just as the earth cycles through spring's renewal, summer's abundance, autumn's transition, and winter's rest, so too does your marriage journey through seasons of its own. In my years of observing successful marriages, I've noticed something remarkable. The couples who stay in love forever aren't those who avoid difficult seasons. They're the ones who weather them together, understanding that no season, pleasant or challenging, lasts forever. When we say "I do," We're making a promise not just for the sunny days, but for the storms as well. This is where the real magic happens, friends. The couples who learn to dance in the rain often find themselves more deeply connected than those who've only walked together in sunshine. Consider the inevitable winter seasons of marriage, those times when communication feels frozen, when warmth seems distant, when growth appears dormant. Many couples mistake this natural season for the death of love itself. But just as a gardener understands that beneath winter's snow, roots are growing stronger and deeper, so too must we recognize that some of our greatest relationship strength develops during these challenging periods. What matters most isn't the season you're in, but how you move through it together. Do you turn toward each other when the winds of life blow cold, or do you seek shelter separately? Do you blame each other for the rain, or do you share your umbrella? Remember this. The same sun that scorches in summer warms gently in spring. The same partner who frustrates you today may be your greatest comfort tomorrow. The question isn't whether your relationship will experience all seasons. It will, but whether you'll use each season for its unique purpose. Spring relationships need planting and hope. Summer relationships need celebration and play. Autumn relationships need harvesting and gratitude. Winter relationships need reflection and faith. Each season serves your marriage if you allow it to. When my wife and I faced our own winters, and yes, we certainly had them, we learned to ask, what is this season teaching us, rather than how quickly can we escape this? This simple shift in perspective transforms hardship from something merely to be endured into something that strengthens your bond. The greatest achievement in marriage isn't avoiding life's difficult seasons, but learning to face them hand in hand. There's profound intimacy in saying, I see the storm coming, and I choose to stand with you. There's deep trust in knowing that when the leaves fall from your marriage tree, your partner doesn't assume the relationship is dead, but instead recognizes this necessary transition. So as you journey through your own marriage seasons, remember that staying in love forever doesn't mean feeling the same emotions every day. It means recognizing that your commitment, like the earth itself, continues its faithful rotation through darkness and light, through darkness and light, through dormancy and growth, through challenge and ease, always moving, always returning, again to spring. Lesson 12. The Forever Journey. Marriage isn't a destination, friends. It's a journey that continues day after day, year after year. The happiest couples I've observed in my life understand a profound truth. Staying in love forever isn't about finding the perfect person. It's about traveling together on an imperfect path with grace, humor, and determination. Think of your marriage as a long country road. There will be sunny stretches where everything seems perfect. The birds are singing, flowers bloom along the roadside, and you feel the warm sun on your face as you walk hand in hand. But just as surely, there will be storms. Rain will pour down. The wind will howl, and you might even lose sight of the path temporarily. The question isn't whether these storms will come. They will. The question is, will you huddle together under the same umbrella, or will you run for separate shelters? The couples who stay in love for a lifetime share something special. They've learned to dance in the rain. They've developed the wisdom to see difficulties not as threats to their happiness, but as opportunities to grow closer. They understand that love isn't just something you feel, it's something you build, brick by brick, day by day. I'm reminded of an elderly couple I once met while traveling. They had been married for 63 years. When I asked their secret, the husband laughed and said, "We never fell out of love at the same time." What wisdom! There will be days when one of you carries the torch of love while the other one struggles. The miracle of marriage is taking turns being strong for each other. Staying in love forever means growing and changing together. The person you married years ago isn't the same today, and neither are you. Successful couples embrace these changes rather than resisting them. They remain curious about who their partner is becoming and look forward to discovering new dimensions of their relationship. Gratitude is the fuel that keeps love burning bright through the decades. The happiest couples don't take each other for granted. They notice and appreciate the small things. A cup of coffee prepared just right, a warm smile across a crowded room, a gentle touch when passing in the hallway. These aren't small things at all. They're the very fabric of a life woven together. And finally, friends. Staying in love forever means choosing joy together. Find reasons to laugh daily. Create traditions that bring you closer. Look for beauty in ordinary moments. Happiness isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create together. As you close this book, know that you already have everything you need to stay in love forever. The tools are within your reach. Kindness, forgiveness, patience, humor, and the willingness to begin again tomorrow, no matter what happened today. Your love story isn't written in the stars. It's written by the choices you make every single day. The road stretches out before you. Walk it together. The view is always better when shared with someone you love.